If you are watching this video, it's because you have been invited to be part of our feminine movement, Dreamweavers. There is a story from the 60s and 70s about a few Canadian women that visited Africa. They were moved by a tribe there that sustained their community based on the information that you will see in this video. When they came back to their country, a movement of women began. Women supporting women in vulnerable situations, helping them empower each other. In her book, The Millionth Circle, author Jean Bolin invites us to transform not only ourselves, but society. What she speaks of is the morphogenic camp, which happens when a determined number of people change the way they think and act. She believed that when a critical number of people changed, their culture will change as well. Here's where the concept of the 100 monkeys is explained. A study made about the behavior of a type of monkey on an island near Kagoshima, Japan, describes how the monkey's food source was changed. The scientists threw sweet potatoes in the sand. It was a great success, but the monkeys did not like the fact that they were covered in sand. An 18-month monkey named Naimo resolved the sand issue by washing the sweet potato in the water. She then taught her mother how to do it, who then taught the other monkeys. The scientists followed the behavior between 1952 and 1958, and by the fall of 1958, the number of monkeys washing their sweet potato got to a critical number. What happened when they got to the critical number is that all the monkeys on the island started to wash their potatoes without any outside influence. At the same time, they noticed that all the monkeys on neighboring islands started to wash their potatoes and took this unique behavior as a model. The theory explains that when a change in the learning happens, this change remains in isolation for a while, until a determined number of individuals, the critical number, have learned it. It creates what is called a morphogenic camp. The result of that is that in other areas, a number of individuals all of a sudden learn the behavior without having contact with the ones who started the movement. Each member of the same species are connected to the same morphogenic camp. The theory is simple. When a determined number of people change the way they think and act, the culture is also doing it and a new era will start. And these are the basis of what you're about to learn. The definition of the mandala comes from the Sanskrit, the circle. The mandala represents the consciousness of the whole. It's a cosmic diagram that reminds us of our relation with the infinite. The mandala appears in all forms of life, on earth, in the sky, in the moon, and the life circle with friends, family, and community. The mandalas are designs of circles that symbolize how life is never ending. We will talk about the four elements. This is a community system that generates abundance as a result of the work that we do along with our beliefs and our personal energy, emotional habits, and how we learn to reflect it in our own material reality. Each element has a function. Fire, air, earth, and water. When you become part of the four elements, you give a gift. Giving and receiving is like inhaling and exhaling. We cannot do one without the other. We receive what we give. We are working hand in hand in a perfect balance. The fire position is all about giving. Fire gives us light and goes out when we do not need it anymore. It purifies and transforms us. In this position, we let go of the belief that there isn't enough for everyone. The challenge is to let go of our fears and make us available for abundance. Taking the first step and granting a gift and flow to commitment, trust, and solidarity. Air is about attracting. The air, breath, mind, communication, and the capacity of flying like an eagle, seeing everything with a new perspective. This position is about establishing a new relationship with money. we have to attract and integrate at least 2 women in the position of air so that they can rise and benefit from a new perspective. Earth is about support. This position represents life. It's tangible. The stability, what gives the support and sustains so that water can flow. Responsible for conducting whatever action is needed to maintain the flow of positive energy circulating in the dream catcher. Taking charge to maintain clarity, beauty of this new paradigm. Support in the process of attracting and learning to flow. It is the most humble element of them all. In this position, you're getting ready to transform yourself into water. In the position of water, you are the center of the dream catcher. Here is where you receive. The water is connected to Mother Earth that receives and sustains us so we can grow with all her love. In this position, we practice the energy of receiving so that we can flow into our dreams and desires, creating a new reality where the possibilities are infinite. This position energetically supports the dream catcher. Here, you rename the dream catcher and guide all the women that are part of it. Through your comments and opinions, you prepare your earth that later will be in this position so that they can contain their own circles as well. It's in this position that you receive 8 times the gift that you gave when you came in as fire. Open your soul to abundance, and we all deserve the economy that helps the transition of this planet. In the dream catcher, you will find 1 woman in the water receiving position, 2 women in the earth sustaining position, 4 women in the air attracting position, and 8 spaces for women fire giving position. Once the 8 fire spots are filled, the dream catcher splits into 2 new dream catchers. The water graduates, the earths become the 2 new waters, and the airs become earths, and fires become airs. And each dream catcher, once again, has 8 new fire positions available. Once those 8 positions of fires are filled again in each dream catcher, the process will be repeated and the dream catcher will once again divide into 2. And this process will continue until you come into the center of the mandala and are water and receive 8 times the gift you gave when you entered as fire. Once you have received, you leave the dream catcher and become a graduated water. In this step, you get to accompany all the women in your dream catcher until they also complete their process and get to the position of water and receive 8 times the gift they gave as fire. We communicate through a chat group where we share with all participants of the dream catcher to create an ambiance with positive energy, trust, and solidarity. My engagement. I'm engaging myself for my own personal growth and see this dream catcher like a mirror of myself. To be able to change something in the dream catcher, I have to change myself first. Participate actively in the WhatsApp group, sending positive messages or motivating images to support all the women in the circle. Attract at least 2 women so they live the adventure and deliver to abundance. Invite women you trust and appreciate. Keep the circle confidential for the security of all of us. Keep the circle discreet. It is not intended for public conversations nor to share on social medias. You will reach the center when you comply with all engagements and you went through each step. With the dream catcher, it's not. The dream catcher is not in any ways a business. The money you give is not an investment. The dream catcher is not a multi level nor a pyramid. It's very important when you want to enter in the circle that you do so with full trust and security. It's a place where you can expand your community, conscience, and abundance. We are transforming ourselves and the world.